you're trying to buy an economical car for less than $5,000, but the only thing you can find are cars with over 150,000 miles, and you're wondering if you should. So today I'm going to tell you why you should consider a kind of car like that. So let's get inside and let's talk about it. Okay, I know we're living in some crazy times because we don't know what's going to happen to car prices or prices in general. So you're trying to get ahead by just getting a cheap enough car, $5,000 or less, but all the cars you find are over 150,000 miles. And a lot of the cars that most people consider like a good buy or like a recent car, they're over $10,000 and you just don't have that kind of cash. So today I'm going to tell you about my car and what you can expect if you buy a car with over 150,000 miles. I'm also going to give you some recommendations at the end to help you make a better selection when buying that kind of car. To give you a case study on what happens to a car after it reaches 150,000 miles, I'm going to talk about my car, this car. This is a 2009 Volkswagen Jetta SportWagen, and I bought it 5 years ago exactly with 150,000 miles, just over 150,000 miles. I bought it because I wanted a car that had some style, I wanted safety, and I wanted convenience, and I just wanted a car that I could enjoy. So this car has, the reason I bought it is because it has the 5-speed manual transmission, it has the panoramic sunroof, which I really wanted, and the fact that it's a wagon. And needless to say, because it has the utility of a sports utility and the space without having the high cost of running a sports utility. There's other things that I liked about it. I like the interior, that it's leatherette. I like the fact that it's very stylish inside, and I like the driving experience. I also like the fact that it has like airbags everywhere. It has front, side impact, curtain airbags, all kinds of airbags, and I like brakes, all the safety features. So that's why I bought this car. One of the big factors why I bought this car is because of the service history, which I have right here in this folder. As you can see, I have a maintenance sheet. This is like a summary of what's been done to it, the mileage and the time or the date. And inside you'll have the receipts that match this. So by looking at the service history, I could tell that this car had 3 owners before me, because the service history starts at around 42,000 miles, which tells me that maybe someone bought it for the first 40,000 miles, but because it was a brand new car under warranty, it was probably a lease, they had it and then they turned it in at the end of the lease. And then the second owner bought it at about 42,000 miles, and they kept the car until 90,000 miles. And then the second owner took over, and the second owner had the car until they sold it to me at 150,000 miles, and now I'm the third owner. So the problem with the second owner is that his record keeping is not so accurate, so the service history is spotty. But when I bought the car, I could tell that it was in good shape, and I did my own inspection. I didn't do a pre-purchase inspection because I know a little bit about cars. I can look at the condition of the car, and I knew there was one problem that he told me about, and that's the headliner in the sunroof, or the cloth covering in the sunroof that was sagging. So I knew that had to be addressed, and he probably knew this, and that's part of the reason why he was selling it. Okay, so now let's look at the total running costs of having this car for 5 years and over 30,000 miles. When I bought the car, I paid $3,900 for it. and over 5 years I have spent $5,631 for it. So as it stands, the car owes me $9,531. That's if you add the $3,900 plus the $556.31 in service and maintenance that I've done to it. Now, as we sit right now, I have looked at cars of this age and nearly this mileage, and the problem is there aren't a lot of cars like this one. I found VW Jettas without the sunroof, and most of them have the automatic transmission. So I don't know if that makes this more of a desirable car or less, but I've seen prices from $5,000 all the way to $7,000 for a car of this age. So I estimate that this car is probably worth, let's say, around $5,000 because of the miles, but it also has some desirable options, so it could be worth more, but let's use that as an example. So if we use as an example that the car is worth $5,000 right now, and we take that off of the $9,531 that I've spent on it, that means the car has cost me $4,531 over the span of 5 years. And if we divide that by the 5 years, it comes out to about $906 a year, or about $75 a month. So that means that having this car has cost me about $75 a month. Now, there's a caveat. There are 3 things that I'm not including in the price of this car, because these are things that I added or they're optional. So the first one is that I added a hitch, and that was $300. So that's just me. I needed it for my bike, so that's something that you would not run into if you don't need a hitch. The second thing is that this car was in a fender bender. Like I had a rear end problem. Somebody rear-ended me, and the insurance for that driver paid for the repair. And because I knew that when they repair the back bumper cover area, it wasn't gonna match exactly the paint, so I had them paint the front bumper, and they did it for free because I gave them the business. So that's something you can do if you're ever in a fender bender. Maybe get some extra work done if they can, if they're able to cover it under the original estimate. So I didn't pay for that, so that's not included in the price. And then the last thing is I added a head unit from a later VW. That's for a 2014-2017 model, and it works perfectly exactly the same as the original. It is an original Volkswagen part, and that has Apple CarPlay, and that's something that I'm going to talk about in just a second. So that was something that I did that I thought would add value to the car, but you don't need to do that, but it is a good thing to have. Now let's talk about how reliable a car would be. So as we've established, I paid $5,631 in service, maintenance, and repairs over the 5 years. So if we break that down, I will tell you that $2,300 was the cost to repair the panoramic sunroof. What happened was, this is a dealer only part. This sunroof assembly comes with the Volkswagen Tiguan. It comes with Audi models like the A4, and it comes with some other Audi models. So this is an expensive part that you can only buy from the dealer. I tried looking at sunroof places at other body shops, and nobody knew how to do it. So I had to pay $2,300 to get it done. Now that's a big expense when you're considering that you just bought a car for $3,900, but that's a good example of why it may be worth it to spend that money and keep that car, even if it's a lot. About $2,300 was maintenance. Now the things that I did, and this is like preventive maintenance. So the things that I did is I bought a new set of tires for the car. A lot of it has been oil changes. This car has synthetic oil, and it runs me about anywhere from $100 to $150 to do it. I have a Volkswagen repair shop do it. I've had the full service on it, which means I changed the belts, the pulleys, all the fluids, the filters, the air filter, and I have a video about how I did that. If you're considering a car like this and you wanna see how that's done, check it out. It's in the playlist. I also, one time it didn't, the air wasn't cooling all the way, so I took it to the shop and they just refilled the Freon, and it's been working fine. I had all the fluid changes, the brake fluid, clutch fluid, coolant, oil, everything, and I highly recommend that you do that, especially the brake fluid. It's very important. A lot of people don't do it. And I had full brakes done on the car, and those are the maintenance items that I had to do, and all of that run about $2,300. Now, as far as breakdowns, I had some issues, but the car has never left me stranded. So I had a problem with a cam position sensor. What happened is the car wouldn't go past 3,000 RPM. So you could drive it around town, it drove fine, but it just wouldn't get up to over 55, 60 miles an hour on the highway. And that happened just after I drove this car for 45 miles on a gravel road. I didn't intend to do it, it just happened. The GPS sent me that way. And so I think it was my fault. Because what they found was a loose connector on one of the ECM modules or something. So that was a wiring issue, and I'm pretty sure it was caused by myself when I drove that. Other than that, you know, I had a battery that I had to change, but it didn't leave me stranded. I just pushed it, and with a manual car you can push and start it without, if your battery is slow. Nothing really extraordinary. Let me look at other miscellaneous things. So I had a flat repair one time, and they balanced the tires at that point also. I had a check engine light come on, turned out to be a gas cap that I replaced myself. Oh, the PCV valve also had a check engine light that come on, and it was a PCV diaphragm or a valve. Then there was a pressure sensor for one of the tires, and that's about it. Oh, there's an issue with the subframe in the front. It was making a noise, so the dealer found that some of the bolts were loose in the suspension, and the left front door latch needed adjustment. That's pretty much all the service items that I've been done that were unexpected. And again, that runs about $1,031. So here are my recommendations if you're considering buying a car like this one that has over 150,000 miles. My car has 181,000 miles as we speak, and I've had it for 5 years, so your mileage may vary. So here's the recommendations. Number one, buy a reliable car to start with. Notice that we're not talking about me owning a Toyota or a Honda, because those are considered to be reliable brands. We're talking about a Volkswagen, but this is a very reliable car for that brand. And the takeaway is, don't get caught up on a specific brand, because you can find reliable Fords, reliable GM vehicles, some reliable Chryslers, and you can find some Toyotas that maybe not as reliable as you think, or some Hondas that are not as reliable as you think. So don't get stuck on a specific brand, and instead focus on the specific car that you're looking for. Secondly, make sure that you have a good service history. The longer the better. And don't just settle on someone just handing you a bunch of receipts. You know, here, look at the service history. Make sure that they have a summary sheet, something that shows a clear path of what that car's been through, you know, mileage, dates, etc., and make sure that the receipts back up this information. Because if the owner took enough care to keep track of the mileage and the repairs over time in a sheet like this, that means they care and they really did pay attention to the maintenance of the vehicle. And again, the longer the better, but if you can establish about 5 years or maybe more of provenance, you're in a good path. Third thing is save some money for the first maintenance. In other words, don't spend all your money in that car, assuming you want to pay cash for it, and you should. Save yourself a little bit of money so you can do maintenance right off the bat as soon as you get it, because that's going to ensure the car is going to run you without any problems right from the beginning. And at least you have a good mental picture or a good picture of what that car is, what the condition of that car is at the very beginning when you get it. So save some money, have it in reserve, get that maintenance done. Now, as I mentioned, I bought this car because I like the style. I was willing to spend $2,300 on a panoramic sunroof. I wanted the manual, I wanted the leather seats, I wanted some style. So the takeaway is, hopefully you're gonna keep this car for a few years, so don't penalize yourself. Don't buy a cheap car that you're not gonna enjoy driving, you're not gonna have any pride in it, you're not gonna wash it, you're not gonna be like happy to be in it. Buy a car that maybe is not 100% as reliable as you might think, but it does give you some style, some driving pleasure, something you can enjoy, and that makes you want to trade it in less. So it makes you want to keep it longer. Another tip is that you should get some roadside assistance. A lot of insurance companies offer this in their policies, where you can pay a little bit extra to get roadside assistance, something like that. Or you can get a AAA membership that's like $75 a year, and that way, if you ever do run into some problems with the car, you have some safety, some backup. If your wife or daughter or son or anyone's driving the car and they get into some issue and they need like some assistance with a tow truck, or get a flat tire fixed, or get a battery charged, then you have the peace of mind that they're going to be okay. So get some roadside assistance. And again, AAA is not sponsoring this. This is just something good for you to have if you're going to have a car that may not be as reliable as a brand new car. Lastly, don't forget about safety. Many people replace their older cars because they don't feel as safe, especially with new cars that are, in my opinion, they're like rolling nannies. They have all these blinking lights and sensors and beeps and bongs, and you know, it's like anytime you want to make a move, the car's beeping at you, bonking at you, lights flashing. It's a little bit too much in my opinion. But don't also go back to like an old car where you have none of that. So make sure you get like electronic stability control, anti-lock brakes. Make sure you get some safety features, especially the big ones like airbags. Make sure your car has airbags all around. Make sure it has a good safety record. That way it makes you not want to replace that car with a brand new one. It makes you want to keep it longer. Now, since you stayed until the end of the video, I want to give you a bonus. As I told you, my car has Apple CarPlay, and the big difference between an older car and a newer car is the technology. If you go look at a brand new car now, especially an electric and EV, it's pretty much screens. Everything you do is on the screen, and they have 2-3 screens sometimes. It's crazy the amount of screens. So that's the big difference. So a tip, when you're buying that car, look for one that you can add Apple CarPlay or Apple or Android Auto to it. That way you're not wishing for the new technology on a new car, and it makes it a lot more useful because now you've got navigation, you've got entertainment, you've got a lot of the things that a brand new car is going to have, and it's not gonna have you wishing for a brand new car. The way to do that is just simply look at the car that you're considering buying, just search on Google for that specific car, like let's say 2010 Toyota Camry, Apple CarPlay, and you'll see all the units that are available to upgrade the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto in your car. And that's a quick, easy way to find out if there are options to include Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is now available in cars that are like 2003, 2004. So there's really no reason why you couldn't buy a car that has the ability to have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now, what do you think? Did I cover all the basics? Do you have a car that has over 150, 200,000 miles? How are you doing with it? How do you like it? Am I on the right track? So let me know in the comments below. And if you have other tips, we'd love to hear it. So thanks again for watching. There's a playlist for more videos and more content, so subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you on the next video.